Ever wondered how doctors understand what's happening in your heart? It all starts with an electrocardiogram, or ECG, a test that records the electrical activity of the heart. This non-invasive procedure uses electrodes placed on the skin, and it can reveal a wealth of information about the heart's rhythm and electrical impulses. Imagine the heart as a house. The electrical impulses are like the wiring system that keeps everything running smoothly. If there's a problem with the wiring, it can affect everything from the lights to the heating. Similarly, any disruptions in the heart's electrical impulses can lead to a variety of heart conditions, which is why understanding these impulses is so paramount. The ECG consists of various waves and intervals, each representing different phases of the heart's electrical cycle. It's like a language that the heart speaks, and understanding this language allows doctors to diagnose and treat heart conditions effectively. The first wave on the ECG is the P wave. Think of it as the ignition that starts the engine. It represents the electrical firing of the atria, the upper chambers of the heart. Any changes in the P wave may indicate issues like atrial enlargement or conduction abnormalities. Next comes the QRS complex. This is the main event, representing the electrical firing of the ventricles, the lower chambers of the heart. If there are changes in the QRS complex, it could signal problems such as blockages in the electrical pathways or enlargement of the ventricles. Following the QRS complex is the T wave. This is the cool-down phase, representing the recovery of the ventricles. Changes in the T wave can indicate issues like electrolyte imbalances or lack of oxygen supply to the heart. In between these waves are intervals. The PR interval, for example, measures the time it takes for the electrical impulse to travel from the atria to the ventricles. A prolonged PR interval could suggest a block in the heart's electrical system, while a shortened interval could indicate a rapid firing of the ventricles. Lastly, there's the QT interval, which measures the total time for both the firing and recovery of the ventricles. A prolonged QT interval can be associated with a higher risk of sudden cardiac death due to dangerous heart rhythms. Understanding these ECG waves and intervals is crucial. They can provide clues about a variety of conditions like atrial fibrillation, heart attacks, atrial flutter, ventricular tachycardia, and atrioventricular block. Each has its own unique ECG findings, which guide doctors in delivering the right treatment. In summary, the ECG is a vital tool in understanding the heart's electrical activity. It's a language that tells the story of the heart's rhythm and function. By translating the waves and intervals, doctors can identify potential heart problems and intervene appropriately, ultimately helping to save lives. Remember, the heart may not speak in words, but with a little help from the ECG, its message comes through loud and clear.